another wonderful WrestleRoni for me and for you. A happy Valentine's Day to you and yours. It's only fitting that we're joined by squeaky clean Casey King. How we feeling, my man?
Man, I'm feeling great. Don't forget we are joined by Avett here today too. He's not going to leave my side, so it's me and Avett today.
Sweet. I appreciate Ava joining us as well. Good to see it. Good to see both of you. Glad to have you back in pro wrestling. Let's just get into that right out the gate. What made the decision? Why did you have to? Because you was still seeing you popping up at shows here and there. So tell me about the time off and the decision to come back.
Yeah, well, I never wanted to leave. Leave being an active competitor. I never left the business, of course. But I felt like that it's what I needed to do for my health, for my safety, for my family. And when they laid the decision out in front of me, I made that decision on my own. No one ever told me I had to, but I didn't feel comfortable risking my hearing for wrestling, no matter how much I love wrestling.
Right on.
So I never wanted to go, but I felt like I had to. And when I got the clear to come back in that, my doctor said, in an ideal world, yeah, it's safer if you don't wrestle, but I think you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be an issue. As soon as I got that, I started doing more cardio training, and I started just to see how I feel, just take a couple bumps here and there. And when I got to feeling good enough, I made the call with Derek, because he from Pro Wrestling Conquest, as they've been trying to talk me into it.
Okay.
Pretty much ever since I left. And we got the first match scheduled against Jack Vaughn, and I'm very excited. And like I said, I never left the business, so I was still training at Power Slam Pro every Tuesday, but the itch just needs scratched, and I need to go out on my terms this time.
Heck yeah, and what a way to come back with Jack Vaughn. We're going to get into that match, but I don't want to skip over Power Slam Pro. They've become super important to the channel. You guys got some great students, obviously some great trainers. What can you tell me about, training for the comeback there, the family there? What's going on at Power Slam Pro?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so refreshing there. Me and almost all of the students there have completely different mindsets and views on wrestling, so it's good that I get their views as well to kind of hold me accountable with what's hip now. Because I'm the comedy guy, I'm the funny guy, and they're the I'm going to hit you hard and beat you up kind of guys. And to have a good balance of that is really making me a better wrestler and making me more well-rounded in the ring. But as soon as I got hurt, they hit me up and said, hey, if you ever want the opportunity to coach, the opportunity is here for you. Because I've been going there on and off since 2019 when I was trying to get ready to go over to New Japan, the dojo. Okay. And so on and off there for 5 years now. And it's just starting there full time has just really been an amazing experience, because those guys are killing it on the indies right now. All of those students are absolutely killing it. And it's just to have a small part in that. I mainly teach conditioning and cardio, and then match structure is usually what my go-tos are. And conditioning is your best hold, and I try to hold them to that. And a lot of them probably hate me for it, but it's just been an amazing experience. They hold me accountable, and they all want to see me come back, and it really means a lot to me when they're out there, that they're killing it and they're putting forth effort and being professionals.
Super professional. So we had FC Mason and Tyler Rossfield work for us at EIW.
Love those guys.
Oh man, they were so good in the ring, out of the ring, super professional in the back, over delivered. Let's brag on them a little bit. What can you tell me about those two?
Yeah, Tyler is. See, I feel like my conditioning is great. I've always been a conditioning first kind of guy, because if you don't have good conditioning, you're dead in the water. You get hurt, someone else gets hurt, etc. Mm-hmm. But Tyler makes me look like I've never done cardio before in my life.
Really?
He comes in there and he'll double however many reps I did without even breaking a sweat, and then he'll go off and do a 450 immediately after. And his work ethic is unmatched. and FC Mason, his charisma is off the chains.
Yeah.
Like he's a natural talker. He's a natural. Just he can talk you into a building if you give him the chance. And yeah, I just love his infectious attitude, and he's always so positive and funny to be around. And yeah, I'm a charisma guy, and he's got it in spades.
No doubt. No doubt. I love them. Love them both. I just saw Tyler Rossfield got a blue belt yesterday. I forget the martial art or what
I
it was.
believe he's a Taekwondo guy. I believe.
Okay. Yeah, it was Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So some awesome students. What's some other students that's really shining right now?
Well, at the sake of leaving all of them off, I'm going to try to name all of them.
Oh, I got you. That wasn't
You know,
fair. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. Troy Parker, Nosmica, they're killing it all over the place,
For
all over the
sure.
country. They're up at CZW making waves in the Northeast, and I can't really say anything about them that hasn't been said already. Mike is getting a name for herself on the Indies as just someone who is just pretty much killing the diva stereotype in women's wrestling,
Yeah.
and just going out and just wrestling.
Yep.
She's not a women's wrestler; she's a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And Troy Parker, he's just a hoss, and he's athletic as anyone you've ever seen. And seeing someone who's I always tell him and give him a hard time. I always say, "But you're 100 pounds more than me. You should be able to lift more than me." He's like, 100 pounds, Casey. Come on, I'm not that heavy. But I think it's more impressive if he is. He's 260 or whatever, jumping out the room, jumping out the gym, and it's just insane to see. We have who else we got there? We got Flash Onyx down there. He's a newer kid that he's athletic as all get out as well. He can do every flip imaginable from any position imaginable. If we say, "Hey, can you do a backflip from here?" He's going to act like he can't do it, and then he's going to do it perfectly.
I got you.
Yeah. Jay Wild, he is, he reminds me a lot of myself. He's goofy, he's fun. He's a lot better wrestler than I am as far as in ring. I'll never tell him that, but he's Casey King if you want a 5-star match, because I ain't giving it to you, but you will. He's funny. He's he just needs to get out of his own head, and the world is his for the taking, really, I think. And you got Tara Black over there, who's another woman killing it on the indies. Who else we got over there? Bishop Baylor, who I don't personally like, but he's killing it, and he just looks like someone who could beat you up.
Yeah.
And that's missing a lot in wrestling, coming from me, who looks like I can't beat anyone up. But he just looks like a tough dude.
Yeah, like a dirt bag.
Yeah.
Yep.
He looks like he's gonna punch you for no reason. Like you look at him funny, he's gonna hit you. Who else we got over there? Chase Evans. He's another guy who's really over in the Jeffersonville, Indiana area. But he's from over this way, and he comes down there and trains. He's very good too. He's another character guy, and I'm all about the characters.
Right on.
Man, who am I? I don't think I'm missing anyone else. This new kid, Brandon Barker, he's not ready for matches yet, but his work ethic is crazy. There is nothing he won't do. Like if you say, "Hey, go do 100 push-ups," he'll do those 100 push-ups, and then he'll say, "I got 100 more in me," even if he doesn't. He's always pouring sweat and working his butt off, and I always give him a hard time because he's about my height, but I always say he's about 5'5", and it just eats him up. But he's he's just the work ethic at Power Slam is just unmatched, and he came in and he just matched it. And like you can teach anyone moves, you can't teach work ethic. Right. And I mean, he's got it in spades, man. And if I'm missing anyone, I apologize. I'm actually going to pull up my Power Slam group chat real quick to make sure I'm not missing anyone.
Hey, man.
Talise Starseeker, she was former worker. Now she's a ref, and she's doing very, very well refereeing. She just got booked up in Buckeye Championship Wrestling in front of a crowd about 400 or 500 up in Ohio, and I think that's pretty much it. Adam Ash, great guy. We've had our differences in the past, but he's just another character guy. And then Justin Seraph, who's been with Power Slam since the beginning.
Wow.
Um, he hasn't been putting in the time outside of training to get bookings and stuff, but he just ordered new gear and he's ready to set the world on fire. So I think that's everybody. And if it's not, I apologize. I love you, and I'll do some cardio for you next time we have training.
Hell yeah, I love it. And for the folks that don't know, you guys started running shows there too, didn't you?
Yeah, we run our student shows once a month. Right now, we're in the process of getting a new building, so shows are going to be on pause for a minute. But once a month, we have student shows where you can come and check out the students of Power Slam Pro, and calling them student shows really does it a disservice because they're just good wrestling shows. Like it's not uncommon to have you have Troy Parker and Nurse Micah who really aren't students anymore, but they still come train because they're professionals and they want to get better.
Right.
And then it's not uncommon to have Shane Kryzak or Jason Kincaid or me or Chance Profit or whoever wrestling on those shows. So, we're all students of the game, but we've been out having matches for decade or more, and it's not uncommon to have us out there wrestling with the students to make them better and to get better ourselves. So calling them student shows, like I said, it's a little bit of disservice. If you want a good wrestling show, check out Power Slam Pro, and got to represent and come support the guys.
Do you guys ever step back and realize what a special collection of talent, as far as just the trainers, and then look at the students as well? But Kincaid, Profit, yourself, who, who am I not mentioning? Kryzak stops in. It's insane to have the opportunity for you guys to train together, even if you didn't have students, just for you guys to go train with each other. Like you
Yeah,
guys got something special, man.
we do, and I think that we offer a lot of different perspectives too, because you got Jason who's touted as the most creative wrestler on the planet.
Right.
Like that's not just by us here in West Virginia who sing his praises. That's across the planet. That's people respect him. People know how good he is. People know how creative he is. And then you have Chance Prophet, who's been around forever, who's done everything, and Kryzak, who's just an amazing hand in the ring too, and he's just so smart, and he's wise beyond his years. And I've had my most favorite matches have always been against Kryzak, and then myself, who I try to offer a different perspective because I like different things in those guys, and I'm not as knowledgeable as those three. But if I wasn't ready for that position, they wouldn't have put me in that position. So I sometimes I like on Monday night, I work midnights at my shoot job, and I train on Tuesdays. And Monday nights, I'm putting together a lesson plan, and
Mm.
sometimes I'm like, man, I don't know what to go over tomorrow, and then I just think back to what my trainers taught me, and so they're getting the secondhand knowledge of all them too.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'm very happy to be a part of Power Slam, and I think it's the best thing going in the area as far as training. And that's just completely biased. All right, that's not me actually. That's just 100% bias. But I'm going to tout it as it is.
For
And
sure.
if you want to be a wrestler and you're in the Huntington, Charleston area, come down and see us, man. You'll have a good time, and you'll learn how to be a professional wrestler.
No doubt. Can't give you guys enough props. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. You guys are doing it well. Hey,
Thank you.
while you was gone, or right when you're coming back, you decided to start up a promotion. Another, like, if you weren't already doing enough, what can you tell us about this new promotion just popped up? Because, hey, and let me ask you this right out the gate. Whenever I announced EIW, I got me some post on Facebook said another alphabet soup. I was another alphabet soup in West Virginia. Did you get any of that?
If I did, they didn't tell me, so I don't care.
There you go. Good, good.
But no, this promotion called Let's Go Wrestling, and it's just a different take on professional wrestling in the area, something that has been lacking. That I think, in my opinion, um, we have comedy on matches, on shows. I mean, like Conquest puts a lot of comedy ASW will book a lot of comedy, but there hasn't really been an all comedy show that I can think of in the area. Chikara used to come in the back hills of West Virginia back in the heyday, but um, that's been 10 years ago or more.
Right.
Um, so I just wanted something that delivered the type of professional wrestling that I enjoy, and I hope to expand the brand and expand the genre of professional wrestling to new fans. My goal for this promotion is not to attract wrestling fans. We have plenty of those in West Virginia. There's no shortage of shows, like you said, another alphabet soup, whatever.
Right.
I want to make new fans, and I think this type of wrestling can make the new fans.
I dig it.
Um, I had a sponsor come on, Horizon Weight Loss, and they don't know wrestling. They just my brother-in-law told him about it, and he's a business owner, so it was a cheap sponsorship, so he wanted to throw his hat in the ring and be on the posters and stuff just because it was so cheap and such a good deal. And he came to the show, and he wants to be my permanent sponsor because he fell in love with it, and
Sweet.
he'd never been to wrestling before. And it's just I really want to emphasize the party atmosphere, but not so much like the adult party. Like
Right. The
last
booze
time,
and the
yeah, I
craziness.
mean there's a place for that, and it's
Right.
fun, and but that's not us. What we are is like last time we had streamers all over the place, confetti, party poppers, balloons, party hats, noisemakers, just were like an 8-year-old birthday party on steroids.
I love it.
And that's what we're going for, and we're just trying to have fun, man. That's the name of the game.
And I love the idea of bringing. I was just talking about that, I believe, last night because I'm trying to branch out and bring in the horror fans, bring in the video game fans. It's all about bringing in new fans. I love that idea. Now, as far as when you're looking at talent and you're doing these all comedy shows, who's some people? What are you looking for whenever you're booking these guys and gals?
So, and as a comedy guy, and I'm not really as comedy as some people would say I am, and Ava's getting in the way, but that's
That's
all right.
fine. That's
Uh,
WrestleRoni.
I like to say I'm comedy adjacent, and what I mean by that is I try to be like the male version of Bailey, and
Okay.
no one would call babyface Bailey comedy. Right?
Right.
She's just a good baby face. So, but with that stigma, it's not even a stigma. I enjoy it, so it's not a stigma. Surrounding me, I've always been put with a lot of good comedy guys like Beastman, uh, like Jock Sampson, like Magnus EK, and all those guys. So I have a good um, list of guys I want to bring in, and then outside of that, man, I posted on Facebook not too long ago. I was like, I'm getting, as soon as I announced the promotion, I got a ton of resumes and messages, people wanting bookings, and that's awesome. But resumes a dime a dozen. Send me a 30-second promo showing some character, and your chances will be,
Thank you.
exponentially greater. Anybody can do moves. Anybody can wrestle. Can you get over? That's the main thing, and yeah, just have a fun and unique character, and that doesn't. That's not to say that you can only have characters on a show. Like Troy Parker was in our main event last time against Beastman, and
Nice.
they absolutely killed it.
I'm
They
sure.
had it was such a good match, and they hardly did anything, which isn't Troy's normal match, but I think he had fun,
Mm,
and he killed it. And he might not think it's great because it's not what he's into, but I can't express how good it was, man. I can't. It was it was one of the best matches I've seen on the Indies in years. It really was.
I can
But
imagine. Only
yeah,
imagine. I,
just put in the work, man. If you're putting in the work, I see you. I promise I do. I'm on social media all the time, and and it word of mouth goes a long way too. So if someone I like puts you over, you're probably pretty good in my book. So just character, man, and we always need straight men too to play off the comedy, which is very important.
there you go.
Uh, so yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Just something different, something unique, and something people who don't take themselves too seriously.
I dig it. Now you're a trainer. You got students. I'm sure hopefully you've went over this in class. Who knows? Who knows? You can tell me. whenever these wrestlers are reaching out, you talk about wrestlers reaching out when you start up a new promotion. I was on your side of this, sir, and talking about resumes. Say a wrestler just straight up just sends you a resume, no message, no I'm interested in your promotion, just straight up. Let's talk about etiquette a little bit because that happened, and I was like, I'm not even looking at it. Does that
Yeah,
bug you? Do you still look at it?
I'll look at it. Yeah, I'll still look at it, but I was guilty of doing that in my first few years in the business too, and I was wondering why I wasn't getting bookings. And
Okay.
no one really went over it with me. I was trained originally by Bobby Blaze, and he's a very old school Smoky Mountain wrestling guy who's, um, very much show up, help out, and you'll get booked, which is absolutely the way to go about it. But he wasn't really around for the social media era.
Right
He
on.
wasn't. So I didn't really have a voice there to tell me how to do it. I just kind of learned by design, learned by failing.
Hmm.
Um, so eventually, my messages went from name Casey King, height 6'2", weight, etc., um, to hey man, I really like what you're doing at EIW, and I think that you're doing something really cool, and I'd love to be a part of it. I think we can make money together, etc.
Right on.
Um, so yeah, we absolutely go through that. And Jay Wild, bring it back to him. He hits me up all the time. He's like, "Hey man, how should I phrase this? Maybe phrase it the way I've told you to 100 times, Jay Wild." But that shows me that he's putting in the work and putting in the effort. But yeah, you personalize an email, guys. This has been a couple times that I've had resumes sent out where they forget to uh, cut the name of the previous promotion they copied and pasted it to. So they'll send me a promotion. They're like, "Hello, WWE." I'm like, "Well, that's not me, but I appreciate it."
Yeah.
But just personalize the email. I mean, I type them out now. I'll send I have a resume graphic that looks like a magazine cover. It's a little bit different, a little bit unique, I think. But I'll type out a message, whatever it is, whatever I feel like at that time, and then I'll send that graphic with it so that they can look at the picture if they want to. They don't have to, but they know that I'm there to help. And yeah, I'll still look at the resume graphics because I'm not going to let good talent pass me by just because they don't know better.
Okay.
Uh, but at the
Noted.
same time, there's a limit. Like if you come in, you can't spell anything correctly, and like your punctuation isn't right. Like, how good are your promos? Probably,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a
But
good
yeah,
point.
I'm not gonna let talent pass me by just because they don't know better. I'd rather use them and tell them how to improve if I can.
That's why I like this show. I learn from folks like yourself. Maybe I'll go check that resume now. Who knows what's in there?
Yeah, they might suck, but they might not.
They might not, right?
They
Yeah.
might not.
Ah, lesson learned. I'm glad I brought that up then, because
And
yeah,
that's
I'll make
just
it.
me, Bob.
Yeah, well, no, but I'll make it clear too. I ain't shit. When I say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I didn't even check his resume," well, who am I? Whatever. But
Well,
it
no,
rubbed me the wrong way. I'm
it's
a big on
off-putting for
respect.
sure. It's off-putting for sure. But like I said, they might just not. They might have not been ever told, "Hey, don't do this." And I wish somebody, "Hey, calm down, bub." They might have never been told that it's off-putting. So if they're a good talent, don't let that take you by. If you tell them, you educate them, and they still do it, that's something different.
Yep.
But if they don't know better, they don't know better, and we've never learned anything by not being corrected before. So um, yeah, that's
Yeah.
my take on it.
And you made a good point too that social media is still fairly new to wrestling. The guys, Boogie Woogie Man's still training people. I doubt he's training them on social media. You
Yeah,
know,
I doubt
he's
it.
showing us some great stuff. But see, that's a good point. I'm
Yep.
thinking of what else I was going to bring up to you. The Jack Vaughn match. Oh my goodness, we might as well get into that. Like, what a way to come back! It's genius. What can we expect?
Yeah, so funny story. It was supposed to be me versus Carson Drake,
Okay.
who's also killing it on the scene right now. Who just got signed to NWA, but he had to pull out because of the NWA date, which which is fine because Jack Vaughn is a heck of a replacement.
Right.
Carson is somebody I respect a whole lot for his work ethic, and Jack Vaughn has that as well, and he's killing it right now. He's viral every week, it seems like, on TikTok, and he's just a funny guy. And sometimes he can be a jerk, but I'm looking forward to win or lose. I know I'm gonna learn. I know I'm gonna have fun, and well, until he kicks me in the face, I'm gonna have fun, and it's gonna be a good time. And if you're not coming to Pro Wrestling Conquest, I implore you to do, because I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure you have a good time. And I know Jack is too, and I know the other guys on the card are going to. Uh, but Jack is someone I respect tremendously, and it's going to be funny coming back against somebody who's actually taller than me for once, because
Yeah,
he's a giant. Um, he's just such a tall man.
yeah, he is.
Uh,
Now that you mention it, okay, yeah.
yeah, he's like, I'm tall too for wrestling, especially in wrestling, because I feel like all wrestlers are kind of short.
Uh
Uh, but he is just a giant among men,
huh.
and he's just jacked. So I'm gonna have my work cut out for me. But we're gonna put something together that's real fun, real. It's gonna stand out on that card for sure. I think we're gonna be the palate cleanser for sure.
Oh, no doubt. Conquest. We recently just hooked up with Conquest. We had Derek on the podcast. Great dude. What can you tell us about Pro Wrestling Conquest, your experience, your time with the promotion?
Man, Pro Wrestling Conquest is one of my homes. Like them and Gary at ASW are really the people who saw something in me and started putting me in important programs. And they're not the only ones. You know, I started with FTC in Ironton, and I'm not over there anymore. We went our separate ways, but they put me in programs too. But Gary and Derek, I listened to the whole episode, and it's easy to tell why people like Derek and like working for Derek, because he's just such a cool dude.
Right.
He was in my wedding, so like it's Conquest is like Gary is the West Virginia promoter, right? Like everyone wants to be ASW, but Derek isn't too far behind him, I don't think. And when he hits it on the head, he hits it on the head. And I just love working there. It's a cool atmosphere, and it's more indie-rific than any of the other promotions in
Yeah.
West Virginia, I think. Um, but yeah, it's just a cool place, and I've been working for them since about 2019. My first match there was me and Jock Sampson versus the Ugly Ducklings,
Nice.
um, which for a long time was my favorite match I ever had,
Yeah.
because at the beginning, me and Jock talked on a promo. And I showed that I could hold my own in a promo with Jock Sampson as well as anyone can, and with Killjoy in there, I showed that I could hold my own in there with the ring with him. And ever since then, they've given me good stuff. Like the last match I wrestled there was against Lord Crew, who's just another guy who's killing it on the Indies, who's just so talented, and he's just a monster as well. Um, and he's just such a nice guy. But I've really only had a few matches there because I've been doing other stuff. Like we had this whole storyline where I got kicked out of Conquest, and I wasn't allowed in the building. But of course, I found my way in and ruined everything. And I had a Texas Bull Rope match against Jock Sampson on Black Friday in 2020, which was like the first show back from COVID. And it was like the worst match I ever had because of me, not because of Jock. Um,
What
it's
happened?
Man, I don't know. I just wasn't on. So I was just getting recovered from COVID that week,
Oh.
and so I had got cleared to to do the show. We were worried that I wasn't going to be able to do it, and we had this whole storyline building up to it because it's for the first ever Conquest Championship.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so whoever won was the first ever champion,
Oh my.
and I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to do it. But thankfully, I was good. I was out of quarantine, out of isolation, and I did it. And that's just an excuse. I say all that to say that I had a bad night. Um, it happens to the best of us. Not everyone bats 100 or 1,000. I don't watch baseball. I don't know what the term is,
Right.
but
I don't either.
it just wasn't a good match. But the fans liked it, and that's all I care about. I can go in there and take a big old poop in the middle of the ring, as long as the fans are into it. I'm happy, you
Yeah.
know. So. Uh, but yeah, Conquest is just a fun time, man. We talked about Let's Go Wrestling being an 8-year-old party on steroids. Conquest is an adult party, but it's family friendly too. Like they serve alcohol at the venue that they run in, but you never. you never have to worry about bringing your kids because you got people like me there. You got people like Beastman that regulars it. There's something for everyone, and it's just a really good time. And I know that you're going to be there to film, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person finally.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it myself. We'll have fun.
Absolutely.
You kind of touched on something I struggled with last night. I'm glad you said that. You can bring the kids to it, you said. So we filmed a little promo saying goodbye to the IW warehouse and having young Anthony Rucker in it. He made it pretty vulgar. So I went to upload it and I was like, man, there's a lot of kids at RSW shows, and I'm pretty sure some kids watch the channel. I better not put this on the channel. So you're a comedy guy. You've got the entertainment and the comedy shows going on. How do you hit that edge for the adults with that, but keep the kids without, killing the kids? Because I'm a father, so I'm super sensitive to this stuff now. How do you walk that line?
I think that with me and with Let's Go Wrestling, I think being different is the key.
Okay.
So all of these people who might go and like all these kids drag their parents to wrestling shows, and I did it as a kid. I dragged them to the Armory, and we watched wrestling, and a lot of it was real bad. And like these guys are getting drugged, and these parents are getting drugged to these wrestling shows that aren't any good. And I mean, we know the ones we're talking about. I don't have to name any names. It's just bad wrestling shows. It's just how it is. How it's always going to be.
Yeah.
Uh,
And they're
but
everywhere, not just around here. They're
oh yeah,
everywhere.
I mean, I was telling Troy and Micah the other day that the Tampa wrestling scene is just West Virginia with palm trees. It's the same thing everywhere you go, and that's whatever. Choose your own path. I'm not here to judge,
Right on.
but and then they come and they see people who aren't taking it too seriously. They are taking it seriously in the work, but they're not. You know, uh, this like me. If I was to go out to the crowd and act like I was this big tough guy who's going to beat everybody up, no one believes that. Right? Like, I mean, that's not you're not going to hurt my feelings if you agree with it, Lou. No one's going to believe that I'm going
Right
to come out
on.
there and beat anyone up, right? Like,
I
it's
got
just
you. Right.
so I think that having a show where everything is kind of off, on, nothing's off limits is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Uh, like we're just having fun, and I think that fun is contagious and fun is infectious, and they're seeing something different than all these guys play fighting in spandex with their friends badly. They're seeing professionals having fun, and I think that's the key difference for us. As far as you, if you want to bring in kids, and I know you're doing, am I correct in saying that you're doing a lot of deathmatch stuff?
Main event's usually a death match. So,
Okay. Yeah, I've been on deathmatch shows, and it's just one of those things. Like the deathmatch shows I've been on, I've always been the non-deathmatch match.
right on.
Like the palate cleanser after an emission or before an emission or whatever, just to come out and get some people laughing, um, whatever, what have you. But
Mm-hmm.
um, on those shows that I've done, it's always been like, hey, this is happening now. If you want to take your kids out,
Right.
now's your chance.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that could be a route you go, but if you want to keep that mature factor and still bring in the kids, man, watch some Attitude Era.
Right.
Like there was kids in the by the millions watching and tuning in, and the adults were right there with them. I think that you can't please everyone, so you have to pick an identity. Um, like my shows aren't gonna please the indie wrestling crowd. That's
Okay.
just, but that's not who I'm trying to attract. Um, Maybe your shows aren't gonna be for the 2 year olds and the 3 year olds. Maybe they're for the 8 year olds and up. Like I think you just got to pick your route and stick to it, and deliver a product that you want to deliver instead of trying to please the fans that might not even be there to begin with.
Right on. Right on. I dig it. I appreciate that. Thank you. Cause
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
man.
if you're having fun, it's contagious, and I think people are going to see it.
Right, right. And I mean, there's just certain things you don't say and do in front of kids. My kids, like, we made it known. I made posts. We even made a deal where there's Crimson Corner, where we have a place for all the kids to hang out so they're safe during the death match.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many kids in the area. Like, the people bring their kids, so there's no stopping it really for me.
Yeah, I think that if they're going to bring their kids no matter what,
Yeah,
then if you want them to come back, you really got to just sit down with the locker room and be like, "Hey guys, let's keep this PG-13 max."
right on.
I don't know how you shows. I've seen a little bit of footage and clips and stuff, like Logan has posted, and I've seen Tyler's and Fahim's stuff and etc. But I haven't seen a ton of the deathmatch stuff that you all do. But
Mm,
I think it's just something you have to sit down and have a talk with the locker room, and if they can't do the job that you hire them to do,
mm-hmm.
maybe you don't need to bring them back. Um,
Oh yeah,
like
I've got a pool to choose from. We've got some
yeah,
good guys though. So
I think people, and I was having this talk with Micah the other day, people forget that we're doing a job. We are hired to do a job. You, as the promoter of EIW, are our boss.
mm-hmm.
If we, I can't go to my real job and say, hey, I'm not doing this and I'm going to do it my way, and you're gonna have to deal with it. I get fired if I do that.
Right.
you know and indie wrestling, people forget it's a job because we're having fun with it and it's what we like to do, but at the end of the day, it is a job and you are the boss.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be afraid to put your foot down, man. But at the same time, stay true to yourself and deliver the product you want to. uh, just have fun with it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And we was saying there's so many talented people. We're talking about those crappy wrestling shows. I don't know how you're having a crappy wrestling show. You don't have to book these yarders anymore, man. There's so many talented people right in our area, in the tri-state area. Shoot, Tennessee, wherever, and they'll travel. I mean, it's a great time. There's so much talent. It brings me to Nolan chimed in. He wanted to know if he was going to build a dream stable of current indie talent. What would your dream stable be?
How many guys are picking?
Let's say five.
5 guys, including myself.
Okay, okay, you can be six. That way you can still pick five.
Okay, all right, because I'm in it, because I want the rub. I want to get over with these guys.
Hell yeah.
I'm riding the coattails. So immediately comes to mind is Magnum CK. I
Nice.
think that he is one of the best heels on the Indies, and I think that given the right chance, he could be a great babyface as well. He just oozes charisma. He oozes showmanship. He oozes, just personality at the wazoo, and I want him to be a part of it, of course. And he's a big dude. Um, so that helps as well.
Okay.
Speaking of big dudes, I need a heater, and what this is going to be comedy centric if you haven't realized.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
Beastman, I'm taking Beastman
I
because
knew
he's
Beastman
just
was coming.
yeah. I'm taking Beastman because he's a heater, and if he can't make it, we got Magnum as the heater.
Okay.
But yeah, Beastman. He's just what can I say about Beastman? He's a great gimmick, the best gimmick on the Indies in my opinion.
No
And
doubt.
now he's even doing that cool Beastman gimmick. Have you seen that?
Yeah, the
Where
deal
he
he's
comes
doing
out.
in Pittsburgh with the sunglasses and stuff. What the hell?
Yes, I love it so much. I don't know. I've only seen a picture of it, and that's all I need. It's over with me.
Oh man, I was
Yeah,
watching this no ring show and he comes out like he's big Hollywood shit and talking all this shit. It was hilarious.
yeah, I love it. So him for sure. And next guy is a young guy who's just so over with me. And at our first Let's Go Wrestling show, he got over, and he got a better reaction than I did on my own show.
Uh oh.
And that's Cowpoke Paul. And
Yes.
I just amazing.
Right?
Amazing work. Like my dad loved him. He was up singing his song, and for reference, my dad had just beat cancer the week before. He had surgery, removed cancer. They got it all out, and the next week is at Let's Go Wrestling, having a great time singing Cowpoke Paul's theme song.
Yes. God
Just
bless him.
having a great time, and he's my parents' favorite wrestler now, even though I'm back. Uh,
still.
yeah,
That's
and
so
he's
cool.
always been getting these shots too. Like the last Pro Wrestling Conquest show I was at, he helped me with the ring until I was done with it because I was the one in charge of the ring that show. I took it there, took it back, whatever. And he helped me with it, thankfully. Him and this guy named Beck Reeves from Cincinnati, and all the Power Slam people, of course. But yeah, definitely Cowpoke. Um, I'm going to add Jay Wild in there because, like I said, he reminds me a lot of myself, and that might be redundant. Having two of me in there, but
Well,
like I said, he can go in there and actually do the wrestling, and I'll stay on the apron and just high five and clap and
just
and,
get the
and, and
rub.
that, yep, get the rub. And then my final one is a guy who's I'll go ahead and break the news here. For our
Ooh.
next Let's Go Wrestling show, March 22nd, tentatively, Gentleman Jervis is back on the East Coast, and I think he is. I know he is the most talented wrestler I have ever wrestled, and I wrestled him my second year in the business. And in one match of the year, he drug my sorry butt to a match of the year in my
Hell
second
yeah.
year. If you're not familiar with him, he's the guy in all the viral videos that rocks people to sleep like a baby.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
My eyebrows have been up since you said it. I wish you could see me. My eyebrows hurt from being up so far. That's awesome.
yeah, he's back on the East Coast, and he's a good friend of mine. And I messaged him, and I thought he was still in LA, and I was wanting to fly him over here, and he was like, "Bub, I'm back in Pennsylvania," and I was like, "Oh, awesome!" But I'm putting
Yes.
him in there because he's gonna teach me and Jaden and Cowpoke and the other guys as we go, and he's just so talented and man, I can't sing his praises enough. If you know Jervis, you love him. And the last time he was in the area was 2018, and we had people driving from Detroit to see him because he's never
Right.
over this way. So he's just so over, and I'm so excited to have him down here. And hopefully March 22nd is that date. I already announced it, but it looks like things might have to change. We'll see. You know how that goes. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
March
I
22nd.
know.
So Magnum CK,
Yep.
Beastman, Cowpoke Paul, Jay Wild, and Gentleman Jervis, and then myself riding, lagging behind. Uh,
Dude. That's a stable. That's a
it,
movie. That's a movie right there. That's not even a stable. Let's make it. Let me shoot it. Let's
imagine,
do
uh, imagine a shuttle van shuttling all of us to shows.
it. Oh yeah, before we go too far, for folks that don't know, they're hearing Gentleman Jervis coming back. Where are the shows running?
That's the problem. We were running in South Point, Ohio, at the Power Slam Academy, but we had to move Power Slam the school, so I'm not sure where the shows are going to be yet. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Mm.
As soon as I know, everyone will know. Uh, so just follow me on Facebook. Follow Let's Go Wrestling on Facebook. March 22nd is a Friday. Hopefully that date stays locked in, and hopefully we can deliver a show. I still got time. I like to announce a month in advance, and I still got about a week to lock things down.
I feel
Um,
I'm right there with you. We can't run another show till we find a new venue.
yeah, it's just a chore. I'm glad Power Slam is moving because it was a great situation for me because it's so close to my house, and now we got Otis back here in the
Now
background
we got a
creeping up
kitty.
on me, and now Ava will come over here and scare him away in a second. But
He's prowling.
yeah, so we'll figure it out, and we'll have some fun when we do. The problem is the last Let's Wrestling show was so messy with all the confetti and all that.
Right.
Uh, we had to find a venue who's okay with that. So we'll figure it out. We'll have some fun, and Gentleman Joe is back on the East Coast. I can't wait.
I appreciate the scoop, dude. That's huge. Believe
Yes,
me. Yeah. How
I
the
teased it a little bit on Facebook, but I haven't announced it. This is the announcement. Gentleman Joe's.
You're the man. Breaking news on Valentine's Day. You got any big
That's right.
plans for Valentine's Day, Casey King?
After we get done here, I'm gonna go get a haircut, hit the gym, and then that's pretty much it. Come hang out at the house. I'm glad I'm off work today. I don't have to go in at midnight tonight, so that's a plus. I'm just gonna catch up on some sleep and maybe play some Brotato on the Xbox and just have a good time.
Brotato. I've been playing me some Brotato. Hell yeah.
It's so good.
Oh
It's
man.
so
It
good.
is. Shout out to Brotato. And it's
If you have
cheap.
Game
Go buy it.
Pass, yeah, well, if you have Xbox Game Pass, it's free on Game Pass.
Is it?
So yeah, it just got added. So I've been having a blast with it, and I'm sure my wife would drag me to do something later. But Hopefully, I'm just gonna be hanging out here because I don't like leaving my house very much.
I feel it. That's exactly my plans as well. When you're talking about you need a venue that'll be tolerate a mess, I can relate to that as well since we do the dumb death match stuff. So, yeah, man, we're in the same boats a lot here. But I don't have a big match with Jack Vaughn coming up, thank goodness. So
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to taking that lariat. Hopefully, I can avoid it.
Well, you're back in the scene. What are you seeing? Is anything different from a few years back? Are we progressing in some ways, or some things getting worse? What are we seeing?
You mean in West Virginia or just in general?
Let's hit both. Let's talk about here locally, and then let's talk about the big overall picture.
Yeah, I think West Virginia is much better off than it was a couple of years ago. We have people actually working together now, and I'm not stupid, Lou. A lot of people in the West Virginia scene don't like me. That's okay. I don't care. I don't have any heat with them anymore. I'm trying to come back with drama free and heat free. But a lot of people don't like me. But even with that, the scene is so much better off. Like we have people working together and just camaraderie and just good talent across the whole state, up in Martinsburg and down to Huntington. We just have good talent all over the place, and we're seeing better shows pop up. Like EIW and like Let's Go. Self shameless plug there.
Hell yeah,
Uh,
I appreciate mine being in there too. Shit.
and Conquest is coming back around running regularly again. And you always got Gary and whoever I forgot. I apologize, but uh, we're just in a good position right now. And then across the Indies as a whole, wrestling's hot, man.
Yeah.
Like it's super hot, and everywhere you go, it seems like people are selling out shows. And yeah, I'm so grateful that I'm able to come back and have some fun, and I'm not going to take it too seriously this time like I was last time, because I was killing myself trying to get a job, and
Right.
a job that, let's be honest, was probably never going to come. But I was working like it was, and I was killing myself. Me and my wife would see each other maybe 3 hours a week.
No.
Um, so like, and she was great. She was very supportive, and she loved that I was doing it. But I was gone every weekend. I was training twice a week. I was working out, and um, we want. And when we did see each other, she was shaving my body and tanning me. So yeah, I was killing myself,
It's a good
like
wife.
personally and socially. Yeah, she's great, but I'm not going to put her over too much, even though it's Valentine's Day, because she'll get a big head. But yeah, I think that it's just such a good time for wrestling across the board, and I'm very happy to be part of it again. And I'm hoping that we can make some money together, um, and make some fun, and
Yeah.
that's what it's all about: fun and money.
Fun and money. Make some moments, baby. Let's do
That's
it.
right.
I can't wait. I'm excited for what's to come. And I gotta give props to my wife as well while we're talking about it because she's been I don't know how she's been so supportive of all this because it takes a special person, man, because this shit's ludicrous. The drama that goes on and the work you have to put into it. Uh, I guess we're two of the lucky ones, right?
Yeah, yeah. Thankfully, we are, man. Like the drama doesn't stop, and like I said, I'm really trying to be completely drama free this time around, because the last time I got caught up in the professional part of wrestling and thought, oh, everybody has to do it this way, and if you don't, you suck. And I was very outspoken about that. I'm still outspoken about doing things the right way as far as getting trained and hitting the gym and just doing stuff like that. But I'll never stop speaking on that. And if you have heat because of that, then you're probably not worth worrying about.
Right.
But as far as the extracurricular activities and extracurricular drama, I'm not worried about it anymore, man. Like the drama doesn't stop, but we can do our best to minimize it. And thank goodness we got good wives to support us.
There you go. Yeah, and when we say the drama doesn't stop, you don't have believe me, it's out there because when I say it takes a special type of person to be in wrestling, you have the really special good people and great and the best people you ever meet in your life. And then in every walk of life, there's scumbags. They're going to be there,
Yep.
or there's going to be crazy people, or whatever it is. It's just it's a part of the mix, you know.
Yeah, it's there's going to be, like you said, there's going to be scumbags in every walk of life, but you can do your best to try to limit your exposure to them in the wrestling business by choosing what shows you work on and not taking every booking that gets offered to you.
Right on.
Um, like if you know some people at a show aren't the best people, you don't have to take the booking, or if you do, take the booking, do your work, and leave.
Mm.
Um, don't hang around and try to minimize it. Drama's always going to find you in some form or fashion, but we don't have to sell it.
There you go. Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah, man, you talk politics again. Who am I? We had booked a kid for a show, put out flyers and everything, and then this guy didn't like this guy, and people above us didn't, and he was this guy's boy, so we had to cancel the booking. And I felt terrible because even after we canceled it, the kid was like, "Man, I would like to keep my word and everything. I'll still work the show." And I couldn't let it to happen because there's people above me even where I'm at, even though so there's politics. It's crazy out here.
It is crazy, man. Like, and I don't know what situation you're referring to, but um, I mean, if the boss is not happy, the boss is not happy. It goes back to pro wrestling and independent wrestling being a job.
Mhm.
Um, you got to make the higher ups happy, and if they don't want someone on the shows, they have every right to refuse it. As much as it sucks sometimes, um, these promoters have the right to book whatever they want.
Right.
It's their money, it's their show, and I see people all the time saying book more women's wrestling and book more comedy wrestling and book more technical wrestling, and that's all great, but we can't villainize the promoters for not wanting to book that. It's their baby. It's their.
Yep.
Am I going to book it? Yes, I'm going to try to book everything I can because I like variety, but. Uh, I mean, it's his job, man. We don't get mad at Speedway for selling, freezies, so because they want to, or not selling something. So
Yeah. And
people forget it's a job and a business.
exactly. And even it's a job for one. Number two, because of this person, I have the opportunities I have, and I know this person. Everything starts back to, so if that's what he wants, that's how it goes. And sometimes you're gonna be put in those spots, man. Like
Yeah,
it's gonna happen again. So here
can't
we
make
are.
everybody happy.
Yeah, you can't.
So
You
we,
can't keep everybody happy. It's
we got to
impossible.
make the people who pay the paychecks happy first, and
Yep.
then well, fans first, and then the paychecks.
Right on. Right. Well, let's lighten the mood. Let's talk about the fans, man. We got some awesome fans recently in the area. What are you seeing at shows?
Man, there's groups of people that just travel to every single show,
Yeah.
and that's not something I saw when was breaking in. We
No.
had we had specific groups of fans for every show. Like you'd go to ASW and you had the ASW fans. You go to Conquest, you'd have the Conquest fans. You'd go to I don't know what else was around PIWA in Lincoln County. You'd have the PIWA fans.
Okay.
There was no set independent wrestling fans, but now there is. Now people are traveling to see every independent wrestling show, and it's because we're putting on good stuff.
Yeah.
And they're invested, they're having fun, and if we can get one group of fans to do that, we can get hundreds, to follow us. We talked last time I was on here about me trying to be an attraction for Conquest and ASW and trying to limit my bookings in West Virginia. So you have to come to those shows to see me.
Mhm.
Uh, and I'm trying to do that too. So if you book me, you're getting some people that wouldn't usually come to
Right.
your shows. But yeah, dude, these fans in West Virginia are crazy right now. Like every show I've been to has been loud and ruckus, and I love it, man.
Yeah.
It's addicting, man. I see why people never retire, and I see
Right.
why I'm coming back by going to a show and having a good time.
Yeah. And these fans have the people they like. They're buying merch. I mean, it's crazy. They'll follow certain wrestlers even. It's
Yeah.
And talk about merch. I tell you what, just in the past year, a lot of people stepped their merch game up. What are you seeing this too?
Yeah, I think people are finally realizing that there's money to be made. Um, people were doing. I think Bob Evans it was posted on Facebook not too long ago that People get caught up in the passion of pro wrestling instead of the business of pro wrestling.
Okay.
And I think people are starting to realize it's a business and there's money to be made. And well, I mean, we're having fun, we're enjoying wrestling. Why not make some money too?
Yeah.
Uh,
That'd be
and if you
different.
can get over and sell merch, man, do it. And I'm glad people are taking it seriously because I want to see all independent wrestlers get their due. And it, the cream rises to the top, and fans are going to buy merch from people who they like and who are good. So it's very exciting and very refreshing to see people start taking making money seriously because they deserve it.
Yeah. Something I've been preaching, wrestlers try to have something for every price point. People can't always get the $20 shirt. I've been buying trading cards and stickers from wrestlers. That's what I can afford, you know?
Yeah, I always used to preach that to have the one bill method, and I haven't really talked about it much lately because I haven't been selling much, but uh, always price your stuff for one bill's worth of money. So $1, $5, $10, $20, etc.
Okay.
Because people don't want to deal with change, and it's off putting. Because I know I've been on the other end of it. I've been on both sides.
Right.
Where you go and you buy something for $12, and they have to go to the concession stand to get change, or go to the ticket booth and get change, and you got to wait there, and you're like, man, I could have just not bought this, and now I'm waiting here for 5 minutes while they go around to the locker room and try and get ones out of Bruce Gray's trunks.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so the one bill point, but yeah, all price points: $1, $5, $10, $20, $50 if you want, $100, whatever. Um, there's just bills worth, increments.
There you go.
That's what I try to preach.
I love it. Hell yeah, man. I've kept you for almost an hour. We're in the final 4 minutes of the show, even. You know how we do. Try to give everybody a chance to slang their merch, slang the socials, any advice to up and coming wrestlers, anything you want to get off your chest, whatever you want to put out there, Casey King. The platform's all yours, sir.
I'm all across social media at KY Casey King. Um, you know, prowrestlingtees.com/Casey King. I believe it's slash Casey King, not KY Casey King. It is prowrestlingtees.com/Casey King. My first match back, Pro Wrestling Conquest in Charleston, West Virginia, March the 8th at Quantum Sports. Other than that, other stuff I got in the works is, Gary, March 30th. I'll be up, I think, all of his shows. Spot
Nice.
Monkey Promotions in Ohio, Tri State Wrestling in Ohio, Regatta Pro Wrestling. I'm trying to take it a little more easy this time and not kill myself to get a job. But the best advice I can give anyone is to have fun with it, man. Stay out of the drama as best you can and just have fun, because that's what we're in this business for. And that's what the fans want to see. Fun is contagious, fun is infectious. And if we're having fun, they will too. And it's good for the business.
I love it.
That's the best advice I can give.
No doubt. You planning on having fun in 2024?
That's the only thing I know how to do, bub. So we're going to have it in spades.
Good. Hell yeah, man. It's so good to have you back. It's good. I'm glad you're doing well. Couldn't be happier for you. Looking forward to seeing you at the Conquest show. We'll have fun.
Absolutely. I do want to give you one more scoop.
Okay.
Uh,
Ooh,
breaking news again. So in 2019, a company approached me wanting to make a documentary about me. And that documentary is on YouTube. You can search it up. It's called The Strongest Man Alive. Um, it's a great documentary. They did a fantastic job. Hunter Way is the guy's name. He was just a kid at the time in college doing it for his capstone project.
hmm.
Now he hit me back up. So there's going to be a Casey King documentary part 2. And I don't know the specifics on it yet. Be looking forward to it because the last one looked like it could have been at any film festival in the country and not looked out of place. That's how good of a job he did.
Okay.
And if you want to watch that one and see how much I've changed since then, The Strongest Man Alive on YouTube by Hunter Way. And we'll have another one coming out hopefully soon.
Sweet. Well, I appreciate two scoops. Two scoops, Casey King, baby.
Scoops for Lou, bub.
Scoops for
Scoops for Lou.
Lou. I love it. Hell yeah. I'll dig up that first one. We'll put the link in the description so it's easy to find. I'm going to have to watch that myself tonight.
Yeah, it's about I think it's about 45 minutes long, I believe, and it's before I ever got hooked up with Jillian Hall. So it's like my first 2 years in the business, and just having a good time. And he did, like I said, he did a great job. And if you want to look it up, don't. I mean, I'm not worried about me getting exposure from it. I want him to, because he deserves the world, and he's so talented, and he's going to do big things in the world of filmmaking. And I'm very humbled and grateful that he hit me up to do another one.
And to follow it up all these years later, how long's it been since the last one?
About 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So he said, so it's a funny story. I don't want mean to hold this
No, we'll
over,
go
but
over Casey King. You're fine, man. It's
uh,
WrestleRoni, believe me.
so I got hurt against Nate Webb in Ohio, and it wasn't his fault. No one's fault. But the next couple of weeks, I went to my ear doctor, and this is the ear doctor I've been to since I was young. I've always had ear problems, and he's done all my ear surgeries, and um, he's taken care of me my whole life. Um, but his aide or nurse comes in. He's like, "Do you did someone make a documentary about you?" I was like, "Yeah, they did." He was like, "That's my husband."
Oh
I was
shit.
like,
Okay.
"What are the odds that the guy who made a documentary about me's wife or fiance, I'm sorry, is the nurse at the doctor's appointment when I find out I have to step away from wrestling? What are the
Wow.
odds?" Like it came full circle, really.
Yeah.
And she's a great nurse too. So uh, sh- she's as good of a nurse as he is as a filmmaker. So
Nice. You got mixed up with the right folks.
I think so. I think the great people, and he rode around with me. And if you can ride around with me in a car for about a month to indie wrestling shows and survive and want to do it again,
Right.
you're the right folk to me.
Right. Right. Hell yeah. Dude, that's so good. That's that pro wrestling magic I talk about. If you weren't a wrestler, I wouldn't have believed that story, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man, there's something going on.
Something in the water, bub.
Something in the water, bub. I love it. Hell yeah, man. I'm so happy for you. I appreciate the scoops. Looking forward to the next documentary. Looking forward to seeing what's to come. What's coming down the pike, sir.
I'm looking forward to it too, bub. Let's just have some fun.
There you go. That's the plan. Hell yeah. You got any final words before I let you live your life on Valentine's Day?
Bub, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person at Conquest, and hopefully I still got it. But even if I don't, we're gonna have some fun. And like I said a million times, and people get tired of hearing about it, that's what it's all about. Let's have some fun.
Hell yeah, Bubby. Looking forward to it myself. It's been another grade A episode with grade A quality human beings. Casey King's back. Get with the program. Go out there and live your dreams. Be kind to each other. Treat each other with respect. Maybe tell somebody you love them. It's Valentine's Day, man. I don't know. Do something. We love you. We'll see you the next time. Thank you, Casey King.
Thank you, bub.